In this video, I'm going to be doing an interview with my really good friend Billy about he built a 10K plus profit per month remote online arbitrage business, actually living in a couple different countries. So really excited to dive into this and talk through his story, how he got started. It's been cool to see him grow over the past year or so on that. So excited to talk through that, as well as Billy actually helps out with my coaching program too. So if you're interested in getting more help, you can consider applying down below in the description to work directly with me to grow with online arbitrage. Let's get right into it. What's up, Billy? Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's sweet. Yeah, it's good. I was just looking, we were talking prior, but it's pretty cool seeing that video we made 6 months ago, how Billy went 0 to 50K a month in 8 months. So you're probably doing like 5 to 8 grand or somewhere around that profit wise. Then it's grown now, some $100,000 months. We're going to be between like 12 and 18 grand profit, which is awesome. But yeah, for people who might not be familiar with you, you kind of want to walk through who exactly you are, and then we'll dig into some of your story and everything like that.
Yeah, so you can see my IG, Twitter, Billy Flips. You guys can go give me a follow. But yeah, I got started doing used books about a year ago, and was recording the process. Documenting my journey, going to Goodwills, library sales, Scout IQ. I looked 45,000 books throughout those first 4 months there. So getting after it. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And that's how I got started. But it was the content, that allowed me to meet Miles and Garrett and Warner and all these other guys. So they taught me the OA ropes, and here we are now.
Yeah, because I think you were really smart to post about it since day one, because it's worked out pretty well for you. It was the same way for me, like back in 2019, starting to do all that. But just to kind of give some context how this has kind of all changed, in that a year ago, and even this time a year ago about, right, you were selling books on Amazon, and now what does kind of your business and operation look like now?
Yeah, so right now I'm in Argentina. So I'm using a prep center. I'm in South America. So still ordering from retail websites, US based retailers, popular brands that are already generating demand. I'm not running any ads, selling on listings that have already been made. Looking for sales, discount codes, using cashback, gift cards. Huh?
What I tell you to buy.
Yeah, what Miles tells me to buy.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it too. The community, the network. Miles helps me out a ton on that stuff. But yeah, so OA to prep, I guess, is what most people call it.
Yeah, Billy's got a lot of good insights. You guys make sure you follow him there. But similar to me, like I was mentioning this in my yesterday video, I'm getting rid of the warehouse the next couple weeks, and then going to be all OA to prep center, maybe some wholesale too. I know you're at ASD as well. We'll get to link up at ASD in August as well. But just in terms of like scale of opportunity and stuff, like what made you want to do online arbitrage, and like how has it worked out? And that, like, do you think it's a much better option than books? If you could do it over again, would you still start with books, or would you go straight to online?
Yeah, so what drew me to Amazon was I just saw the flywheel. Like I really wanted to do an online business, and this seemed like the least barrier to entry, most legit way to get started with something. So that's what drew me to the space. Books were great for getting, the operation set up, understanding making shipments, how that stuff works. Ideally, I would have spent a lot less time on it. Based on my financial situation, it worked out for me. But even then, I probably should have just done it for a couple of weeks and then moved over to OA. But yeah, moving forward, there's tons of opportunity. I don't see this going anywhere. There's always going to be room for arbitrage. There's 300 million Prime members. Someone has to fill that demand, right? So that's where we come in. Definitely going to move into wholesale as well these next coming months. Like you mentioned, I was at ASD, placed some orders there. But yeah, the sky's the limit with Amazon.
Yeah, and like I feel like books are such a good place to start, because it's accessible to anyone, and that like everyone watching this probably has books they can just go scan with the Seller Amp app today and see the value, right? Anything
Right.
with the barcode and UPC, like you can take the phone, take the Seller Amp app and go scan it, and you'd see what it sells
Yep.
for basically. And then everyone has, most people, thrift stores, library sales, etc. There's all types of that stuff you can do, like getting stuff for free, Facebook groups. Like I was doing that all the time back in the day too. And it just
Yeah.
teaches you kind of like, it's such a low risk way to start learning business and everything.
Yeah.
Cause I think business is the skill. Like Amazon, there's a lot of like specific things in there, but like after a couple of years of successfully doing it, like you could spin up in other types of businesses and over the long term eventually figure it out, right? Because it's not like the opportunity is unique. It's you, the person's unique in terms of your ability to take advantage of the opportunity. And that takes a while to build. Like I know you tried other online businesses prior. I definitely had, and you just kind of aggregate the skills and knowing the right people, and then you can put it together.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty good stuff.
100%. Like this stuff is applicable to any other business. And the person you become along the way is what's really valuable. You're not going to out analyze anybody, especially when you're a beginner. Like you're not going to enter a new market or a new business model and bypass the rest of the community by watching YouTube videos that are made by those people who are already doing it. Like, so the best way to get started, people ask me all the time, is like, you have so much free content, Garrett, everyone, Warner, there's so much to watch, so much to consume, the podcast, you can only do so much of that. The best way to really get started is, like you said, there's books in your house right now. There's stuff in your house right now that you can go sell. It's just make a sale. That's the best way to get going and, progress that way. You're not going to outsmart anybody. You gotta follow the progression. You got to do things the right way. So go scan a book in your house and list that up. That's the best way to get going.
Yeah, and like legitimately, like pretty much everyone watching this can go do that right now. And if you don't, go on Facebook Marketplace and make a post and say, I will take your books from you that you don't want. Because a lot of people are in town, they're heavy, they take up space, they have books they probably don't want. Go take advantage of that. And that is exactly what you were doing last year and what I was doing 3-4 years ago, actually pretty much 3 years ago when I was getting started. And then you just move up the opportunity like levels basically in terms of what you can take advantage of and everything like that. So what's some things you think you've done on the online arbitrage side of things that maybe most people don't do that could have contributed to having success quick in the point that a lot of people don't end up getting that are looking to?
Yeah, so I think the most obvious one is being super tapped in with the community. I always have my ear to the streets. I always know what's going on.
I got it. Yeah.
So I do my part. I provide. When I come across things, give and you shall receive. But all my boys are always hooking me up with leads and sales. So that's number one. That's what helps me out a lot. Two, I think just staying on top. Always looking through the websites, always seeing what's going on cashback wise. Keep a product finder has been really nice for me recently. Going and finding some extra leads that way. But yeah, man, I mean, first things foremost, having people around you is super important, I think.
Yeah, because when you get started, you pretty much most likely don't know anyone that does this. And like a lot of people are skeptical of what you're doing, typically from my experience in terms of you starting an online business, selling on Amazon, whatever. And what I love that you did from day one, and I did the same thing pretty much, is you just took full accountability of it by like showing your face, by talking to the camera and stuff, and like completely and fully owning it, right? And that mentality, I think, translated to being able to have success with it over long term. Because like flat out, this stuff works, right? It works for anyone that sticks around with it. However, it is incredibly hard to initially figure it out, and you have to condense that learning curve as much as you can right there. So you think definitely the networking side of things huge, and just I think specifically just really owning it. Like so many people are like afraid to talk about what they're doing and afraid to take accountability. Yeah. What if this doesn't work? But the way you get it to work is you take accountability for it.
People want to help you. People really do want to help as long as you're actually sincerely putting in work and trying. People will come and help you out. I think 90% of the challenges beginners face are all mental. Stuff is so easy, man. Go to the outlets right now, and there's probably a sale going on somewhere. You can find at least 1 or 2 items that you can flip for a profit. Like it's really just wrapping your head around the fact that it's not saturated. Everyone can do it. There's more than enough opportunity. And just once you can accept that and know that, you're not going to go and build a $100,000 business out the gate. Once you commit to the process, things will end up moving a lot more faster than you think. So yeah. I think a lot of the stuff, it's a mental game starting out for sure.
Yeah. And I think you definitely like hit plateaus too, in terms of like your capabilities and your knowledge. Like I was like initially with books, I wasn't good. And then I got a little bit better, hit a new plateau, and then had to shut down books due to everything in 2020 basically. But then with online arbitrage, like starting a couple of years back, I was able to grow it pretty quick to around like 50, 60,000 a month, and then was stuck there for like 4 months or 3 months. Right. And then grew to like 100,000 a month and was stuck there for like, 15K profit right there for like 3 months, and then jumped up with Q4. And it's cool because you build out these plateaus and stuff, because there's never going to be a shortage of opportunities. Sure, sometimes there's going to be those home run opportunities. Back to school was where you took off last year, definitely where I took off 2 years ago. Q4 is obviously great. And for those of you guys who are watching, if you've started in the past like 3 months or 2 months, you really haven't even had one of those home run opportunities to go after. And they're coming. They're going to be there. Back to school,
Yeah.
Q4, there's probably going to be some type of seasonal item in the spring and everything. So there's a lot of good opportunity. You want to talk a little bit about taking advantage of some of those more finite opportunities that come up?
Yeah, I mean, one SKU can change your life. One ASIN, one sale can do 5, 10 grand in profit if you have the means to take advantage of it and come across that sale when it happens. So I think it's important when you're starting out to commit to your education and your relationships and your network. Prioritize that before you prioritize profit. Start investing in groups, courses, interact with people. That's what I would have done differently starting out, is like, get in the game and get inside of the network, and then let things go from there. But yeah, I mean, the seasonal opportunities are crazy. December was, insane. Just everything's going, things are selling for $5 more than they usually do. You're buying them for $5 less than they usually sell for. So there's so much stuff to go after, but you gotta stay on your toes. You can't take weeks off and expect to be in the same place that you were. And like you said with the plateaus, you got to innovate. To get to that next level, you got to try different things, and those ideas come from having friends and people around you. So
Yeah, and just to get those outsized results, like you got to do what other people don't do, right? Like most of
right.
the people that really have a lot of success with it, they're connected to other sellers. So if you think about it, what would I do if I didn't want to succeed? I would never talk to anyone. I would never let anyone hear my voice. I would be anonymous, and I would never talk to anyone in Discord, right? I would never DM sellers, right? And it's if you just do the opposite, which is what you and I did, a lot of our other friends, like it's pretty easy to find success because people are there to help, right? Everyone's on Instagram to talk to other Amazon people because we're geeks and we can't find people to talk to in real life about it right there. So you guys gotta start existing and everything like that. But yeah, I think like at the end of the day, it's obviously very hard to find success, but if you do it for long enough and you do the right things, you talk to a lot of people, you're going to find some people you can connect with and learn from their mistakes specifically, and that's going to help you move quicker and avoid some of those pitfalls, I'd say, for sure.
Totally. Yeah. If you want to streamline your process, and the best way to like make mistakes is to not communicate with anyone. If you want to try and do this lone wolf, it's just, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You gotta interact with others, and you got to consider the fact that the information you're consuming is made by people in the community in their spare time when they're not working on the business. So, that information is do with it what you want. It's going to be great, but it's not the good stuff, the stuff that's going to help you take it to the next level.
Yeah, the stuff I've learned the best is all in like the private conversations with people that I really trust and everything, and like it took a lot, like it took like, 1,000 Instagram posts, like hundreds of videos and stuff. It's like, that really wasn't a ton daily for like a few years. Then it just ended up working out basically, right there, but it's good stuff. So yeah, everyone go check out Billy Flips, Twitter, Instagram, working on getting my boy's YouTube back up, but we'll see how that goes and everything. But I'm proud of what you're doing, and I'm glad to know you and everything.
Yeah, totally, man. Miles was huge for me getting started with all this stuff, and still is, continuing to help me out every day. So props to you. Thanks for having me on.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. If you're interested, check out the link in the description. We'll see you guys in the next one.